there's nothing as dangerous as people who are entitled to your giving. I know for a lot of us people who are like givers, healers, like if you're a musician, a speaker, a coach, a therapist, it's very easy for us to just be tapped out, right? Because people are just continually getting from us. But one of the ways that I'm realizing, and I did this recently, was creating a structure.
And I'm not saying block everybody. Now, don't say that the, from Atlanta to Nairobi lady told you to block everybody. I'm not saying that. However, it's okay to reevaluate.
From the US
To Kenya,
to women,
2 continents, one
powerful conversation. A show where we bridge worlds,
build sisterhood, and share stories that prove
we're more alike than we are different.
You're watching From Atlanta to Nairobi.
Of a new beginning.
All right, everybody, welcome back to From Atlanta to Nairobi. And we're so excited again to have Vivian here or over here. I don't know exactly what side it's looking on the screen, but we're so happy that she's here. And we are talking about so many great topics today. I mean, me and Vivian have this thing like we're on the phone and we're like talking about all the things and we're like, wait, we need to save this for the podcast. So here we are. And I know last time we were talking about kind of like speaking life into one situation. And so I had a chance to share. And so I want to hear from you, Vivian, about, if there's a particular situation in your life that needs some breathing and speaking life into, and just to see what's on your mind.
Yeah. Thank you, Elyssa. And yeah, last week's episode was a little bit crazy. I was all over the place, but that's the thing. I think in life we have to give ourselves permission to kind of just walk through whatever space we're in, and just in response to speaking life, because during certain moments we feel more alive than others. And one of the things I've realized helps me speak life, and it kind of starts and then it rolls over, is like just the actions I take. I'm realizing that structure helps to create life, right? So it depends on the level that you're at. So, for example, if you feel like your energy is being sucked out from you, and we're living in a time whereby different interactions will leave you feeling some type of way. So when you have an interaction that drains you, so to speak, um, the number one thing that you need to do is you need to replenish. So you need time for yourself, whether it's resting, taking a nap, just protecting your energy in one way or another. And then from that, because now you'll have replenished your energy, creating a structure so that whoever comes in your space fits in the structure that you've created, right? So depending on who you're interacting with, the structure can be like, okay, so we're not going to do this way. My voice matters and it needs to be part of the conversation. My views are important and they need to be documented. Just creating a structure that honors your soul and your energy, because I know for a lot of us people who are like givers, healers, like if you're a musician, a speaker, a coach, a therapist, it's very easy for us to just be tapped out, right? Because people are just continually getting from us. But one of the ways that I'm realizing, and I did this recently, was creating a structure. And it's not easy because you're feeling like, why do I need to create a structure for this person? But the reality is, I don't know, Elyssa, but most people who we bring into our energy space sometimes are not doing as much work on themselves as we are, right? And I'm not saying that from a point of arrogance. I'm just saying they will tap you dry.
Because they're in a different space, you know.
Yes,
We
yes. Mhm.
we tend to be mindful of, because we know what it feels like for people to be like, hey, I need this, do this, do this. And we know how that makes us feel. So we're probably trying to be very cognizant about not doing that to other people. And everybody just
Exactly.
isn't there. Like, I even think about maybe when I was younger, there were some things that I was not aware of. And now it's like, with that awareness, and sometimes I kind of wonder, I was like, I hope I'm not overcorrecting, you know, but I think it's okay to set those boundaries. And, you know, the people who are not used to those boundaries might not like it at first. And that's just, it'll have to be okay. And I
Exactly.
love.
With love.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. So
And
the structure, I think it works good. Hmm.
you know, and
Yeah.
also going into a new calendar year, there are many people who are just rethinking friendships, boundaries, goals, even things like that. You know, and sometimes it's like, and this is a hard one because, well, let me reframe it. It can be a hard one because we want to keep the peace and we want to keep the harmony and we want to do all that. And also, we want to be mindful of, how are these interactions making us feel? Like, how do we feel when we're in these interactions? And I think it's good to take a look at it two ways. Like, okay, is there something about me that I need to work on or change? And if that answer is no, I feel pretty solid on where I'm at, then we have to look at outside of us and say, you know, what is it about this interaction that's causing me to feel this way? And I'm not saying block everybody. And don't say that the, you know, from Atlanta to Nairobi lady told you to block everybody. I'm not saying that. However, it's okay to reevaluate.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I totally agree. And you know, it's very easy to create this habit where your voice, your opinion, your reference, your preference comes last,
Mm,
right? So you're like, okay, so let everybody say what they want, and then but no.
mhm,
Half the time, your preference, your voice, your view needs to toe the line. It needs to be the one at the front so
mm,
that it becomes what people use to set the precedence for what they're going to do or what they're going to say, right? So that's also something I'm learning, you know? And I mean, there's nothing as dangerous as people who are entitled to your giving.
mm,
You're giving, but they're entitled. That's that's a hard space. And so when you come in and you say, you know what, uh, this is what I want. This is important to me. This is what I want to do. And people who have benefited from your loose boundaries, your people pleasing, are gonna be the first ones to resist. And these
mm,
are things we don't talk about enough, right? And so you find people really suffering. And you know, when you're soft at the core, when you're soft at the core like an egg, it's really easy to completely crush you. So it's very important to speak your truth from the beginning. I mean, I'm not even saying this from a point of like arrogance or whatever. It's because I have walked the walk and I am now talking the talk.
mm,
Spaces where I had to say, even to family, no, that's not going to cut it for me.
yeah.
No, I'm not available on that day. No, I don't want you coming to my house. No, I mean, and it's just, I was telling a friend of mine, if some people had the power to arrest me, they would, because they are so entitled to what they benefit off of me, and they want to make it like, but it's family, but I have had to do that to protect my sanity and to
Mhm,
protect my heart,
mm.
you know.
Wow.
Hmm.
You know, and you referenced something like, for those of us at our core, that we have that soft space and we, you know, I even see it as a strength because everybody can't do that. And I won't go into the details, but I had a dream last night, and I just say overall, the message that I got is, the strength that it takes for, some people to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to place others' needs above my own. And I get it. There are some times where we choose to do that, and it's okay. It's our choice. And also, I think when we do that, when we're having those moments where we're placing others' needs above our own, where is it coming from? Is it coming from a place of shrinking? Is it coming from a place of keeping the peace? Is it coming from a place of, you know what? I see they're in need. I think if I was needing something, maybe they would do it for me. Or maybe it's one of those situations where it's like, okay, I know they can't hold the same space for me, but I'm making a conscious decision to give from this place of abundance. And so, that's not to say like, okay, when you all press the stop button on this video and somebody asks something of you and you kind of feel like you're giving from that place, it's like, man, I did that very thing that the podcast said not to do. Stop and think, okay, you know what, where is it coming from? And I think that'll help with the answer to a lot of those questions.
Whew, you said it, girl. You said it.
So, I mean, this is definitely a season of reevaluating for me, even. And, it's that's all I have to say about that. It's a season of reevaluating in my life. And again, you have some people that they're so used to the boundary looking different. And when we change it, it's a problem. Now they may be the type to be like, oh, I'm not taking this, blah, blah, blah. And then when you say the same thing to them, then it's, oh, Elyssa, Vivian, I never. It's like, no, wait a minute. Now you go around dragging the boundaries around everybody else like that. But then it's a problem when somebody is showing you that mirror. And, I think we have some similarities a lot of times, like we're the mirror and especially, our coaching and, just kind of I think how we're wired. We can be a mirror for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I know we didn't mean to go this hard, this fast, but I mean, it's like, yeah. And I'm speaking from experience, and I will say that.
Yeah. And especially with the holiday season, I was reading something, and I think it was a certain coach she was either speaking, it was a he, and he said, we need to learn how to create our own family traditions. Because if you are showing up to a space where you're not honored, you're not valued, you're not respected, and you know very well that those people either trying to get something from you, you're not supposed to be there. Create your own family traditions, because for a long time we were taught that you have to overgive in order to receive, or in order to receive love. But then the truth is, you have to have healthy boundaries that protect your essence, right? Otherwise, you're going to have people trampling on your energy, trampling on your spirit, trampling on your gifts, taking you for granted, speaking negatively about you, just pouring a lot of bad energy. So, one of the things you have to do is you really, really need to be firm on the boundaries. I mean, I've had so many experiences in this space, Elyssa, and I don't know if the universe decided to give me this array of experiences so that I know exactly what to do and what not to do. But what I can say for sure is we need to normalize looking at people as people, not my sister, my cousin, my friend. Believe someone when they show you who they are and look at them from that lens.
Sometimes what you're looking for.